further. And if who you know is the best person in this said thing, you're going to get a step up. Period. But I know it's been a hot topic this week. I just want to kind of get y'all thoughts on him getting drafted, and not only him getting drafted, but him. Do you think it matters that he got drafted to the team his dad is on? That's what I think is really shaking up things more than him actually getting drafted. What are y'all thoughts on Bronny getting drafted and all the criticism that's been coming with it? I'm gonna throw it to one of the fellas first. I'm gonna go to you, Jay. What you think about Bronny getting drafted, Brody?
Me personally,
ain't you a LeBron fan too?
I am, for sure. I think that it looked bad, number one, because it was a team his dad was on. That played a factor. But at the same time, I was very, very grateful for the decision that was made by the organization, because a lot of people, and whether it's corporate, let's take sports out of it, a lot of people set their family members up and things like that for success. And I don't see anything wrong with this man getting his son drafted. And people look at the numbers, right? Let's just go ahead and elephant in the room. They're like, he averaged 2.4. He was averaging 3 points a game. We got guys averaging 20. Okay, that's cool. The man was coming off having heart surgery, first of all. And second of all, when he went to the actual NBA league combine and everything and did his, bro, he was balling.
For sure.
Like he solidified his spot through that, because when he came in, obviously those numbers didn't matter. So I think personally, I love the decision. I'm all for it.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, what are we doing it for, right? Like LeBron, if familiar with his story, he came from a single parent home and, was able to partner with some of his friends along the way and become one of the most successful athletes of all time. If we are not, and I think about my own life, why am I pushing and working so hard to get ahead just to not create an opportunity or an opportunity to break down barriers or walls from my own, right? That's the whole point. And I think for us, the African Americans, we are not used or maybe accustomed to seeing that. But even take the Lakers as an example. The owner is Jeannie Buss. Well, her father, Jerry Buss, was the original owner of the team. So that you have nepotism even within the organization itself. And when you look at the history of any company, that is what happens, right? The Waltons, whatever. I mean, whatever company you've ever seen, right? It's passed down generation to generation. Even though the Lakers aren't LeBron's team, for him to be able to use his influence and use his influence to create an opportunity for his son, I think is a beautiful thing. And I think that we, as African Americans, have to understand that is the goal, is to create an easier path for our children, to help them accomplish the things that they may want to accomplish and the things that they've actually worked towards. And to Jay's point, Bronny has done the work to work towards being a professional NBA player.
Correct.
For sure. I'll say one thing. I'll say two things. Like Jay said, I think people forget that he can actually hoop. Like, he's actually good. He's not a like people. When he came out of high school, he was projected to be the 17th overall pick. Cardiac arrest happened, the stats happened, so he fell off. Okay, so he can actually hoop. The second part is, I go there. I think it plays into who the Lakers are. They like attention. It was a great business move to get more eyes in it. If he gets the 15 roster spot this year, just say somebody gets hurt, that game is going to sell out the first time he steps on the court, whether it's in LA or in. If the second they say Bronny's on the active roster tonight, that's going to automatically boost sales, because another part is like, we look at basketball as entertainment, but it's really just a business. Like, what they're really just a business move. Like, dog, think about, and this is another thing. Can people stop acting like he got drafted number 2 overall? Bro was 55 out of 60. Like, it's not like they burnt a top 10 pick. And I'm not saying he's not deserving of a first round thing. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is people need to stop acting like they traded up in the draft. Dog, he went 55 out of 60. Mm-hmm. Nobody talks about, nobody even watches the second round of the NBA draft. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a thing at all. So for people to come in and act like they gave up this crazy package to draft him, it's like crazy to me. And then when it pans out, they're gonna say that was the greatest decision ever made. But ladies, what's y'all thoughts on how would y'all feel if that was your baby and your husband?
The only thing that I didn't understand was why the Cowboys got caught astray when you were describing this whole thing. But outside of
I'll
that,
tell you why.
outside of that, I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I was literally gonna say the fact that he he was number 55, out of 60. He has put in the work, right? I think there are so many other circumstances that we see where nepotism comes into play and they have not done anything, right? They have
Right.
zero credentials. There's nothing going for them, but the fact that he still put in work, we can't take that away from him. They've made history. At the end of the day, LeBron has said from very early on he wants to play with his son. So for me, it's like he's having an opportunity to do that. Why would he give that up? Why would he not do all that he can do when he has said on record that is one of his goals, right? So the fact that that is actually happening, I think it's amazing.
For sure. Chevy Game Mike, what up? So I'll say this. Why the Cowboys caught astray. This was kind of personal. I personalized it a little bit. Because like when Cowboy fans get into sports talks and stuff, that whole organization is ran by the Jones family. Like
Yep.
literally from top all the way down to the coaching staff, there's a Jones in a position. So I'm just saying, like, it's okay when you do it over. Lewis already said it, but I'm just saying why the Cowboys caught it straight. Like, you can't be a Cowboys fan and speaking on this to me. That's just personally, and they be everywhere. So I'm just, I kind of want the smoke, honestly speaking. You know what I mean? How you feel about it?
I feel like a Cowboys fan could speak on it, right? Because I feel
Are you a
like,
Cowboys fan, Asian?
we're not a monolith. I was born into it. Yeah.
You're a Cowboys fan?
Bro,
Yeah, I was
you ain't.
born into it.
First off, she just stated that, basically saying like,
Did you just get back in here, or were you?
Yeah, he just
Oh,
hopped in. He snuck in.
oh, all right, all
I
right.
snuck in? Yeah, yeah. I snuck in like them cheeks Lewis trying to get. But go ahead.
That's it. Hey, but no, all right. So, Brittany and Princess, any thoughts on Bronny getting drafted?
You guys said it all for me. I
Yeah,
think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I support it. I think the biggest argument, obviously, is was it deserved? And of course, LeBron had influence on it. So a lot of people are saying, did the influence override like his actual ability and talent to actually play? I'm here for it. I support it. I agree with the statement that you opened up with, Keenan. Like networking is a huge thing. So if you have the opportunity to bring in your child, then why wouldn't you? Whether he now skill wise, he's proven himself. People don't agree. They feel like an opportunity was taken from somebody else. And that's cool too, but I think he's deserving of it. I support it.
Hey, before we go to the next topic, there's a recent example of Northwest performing in Hollywood, right? I Can't Wait to Be King, right? At the Lion King, big production.
Horrible.
She was horrible.
Yeah,
She was horrible.
Really
And I hate to talk about kids in that capacity, but that's where I think nepotism hurts people, because there were more. I saw auditions of more talented children, and that young girl, I think they did her a disservice putting her in that position, right, publicly. And I think that was even though this is still, she's from African American descent, right, from her father's side. But I think those are moments when it hurts. And I think the issue is if they're not putting in the work, right? I think that's where, and even though nepotism bridges the gap, if there's a little, challenge there talent wise, but when it's glaringly obvious that she's just there because of who her father and her mother is, I think that's when it becomes an issue.
Yes.
So that was a great point, Louis.
But I
That's
also think that we see that. I also feel like we see that every day, though. So I feel like I'd love to see us do it. Put it that way, because there's others who's doing it. Kids don't have the education, they don't have the talent, but my parent is who he is in the building or who she is in the building. So I'm going to get in. I'm going to get into the university. I'm going to get into the institution. I'm going to get into the corporation, and happens every day. So if we can do it, I don't care if she can't sing or not.
That's a great point, Princess.
Let us get a piece of the pie. That's how I feel about it.
No, that's true. That's a great point. If you guys have never seen, no, go ahead.
But I understand what you're saying, Louis. That's all.
Yeah, if you guys never seen the Dick Cheney movie about Vice President Dick Cheney, it talks about George Bush's, the second one, right, coming into office, and it talks about that very thing that you mentioned. I'll just leave it at that.
That's real. Well, hey man, I wish nothing but success to Bronny. I hope he kills it. I hope he proves everybody that's talking about him wrong. and made everybody eat their words, and he stand on business when he get to where he going. Because a young man talented, bro. So I wish him nothing but the best. All right, last night, you understand me? Last night, man, the BET Award popped off, man. It popped off. Because I feel like this is going to be a meaty conversation. We're going to talk. I want to kind of break it into two. Let's kind of talk about the BET